Hey, here's a fun game you can play at home while you listen to The Ron Van Dam Show. Do a shot of your favorite alcohol every time Ron sighs or makes a grumpy sound. No, hold on, I'm kidding. Please don't do that. You will die from alcohol poisoning. You are listening to The Ron Van Dam Show on New England Broadcasting.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
Thank you very much.
Hold on tight, things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Welcome to the program. It is the Ron Van Dam Show. Guess which one I am? If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. Don't exaggerate. The food truck should be here momentarily. If you want food from a truck, you can start lining up. Who wants to have food from a truck? That sounds awful, doesn't it? Food from the gourmet kitchen, food from the supermarket, from the restaurant. Where'd you get the food? From the restaurant. Where'd you get your food from? A truck. Sounds like you should be served roadkill from a truck. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Give me some of that good old truck meat, will you? You got that truck meat on a roll? I love that stuff. Give me food from a truck, please. I get my food from a garbage scow, from a barge. Tasty. That I just get my food from a truck. Why is that funny to me? I get it, Ron. You have a theme song. I get it. All right. Welcome to the program. How are you, by the way? What's up? What's going on? I'm trying to sound hip. I'm trying to sound like various parts of the body. Ron, you sound a little bit shoulder today. Well, I'm trying to sound hip. No, that's a shoulder. That's not hip. Ooh. Do people even use that word anymore? Millennials? I'm going to ask you a question, millennials. If I said something was very hip, what would you think? I don't think you'd think what I think. Because I'm a tad older than you by at least 7 minutes. Oh, millennials. God. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. You know, we have a lot in common. We were both born. That's about it. Other than that, we got nothing in common. No. Our experiences are totally different. Thank God. You're nice people, but I wouldn't want to live there. Oh, man. Welcome to the program. This is pretty much it. So yeah. No, there's more stuff. It comes up later. But in the beginning, I just show you how human I can be and how incredibly hip I am. You're not hip. You're crotch. Oh, that's a different part of the body that kind of I don't want to be related to. Anyway, what day of the week is this? Quick. Sunday? No. Kind of doesn't matter, does it? I don't think so. Anyway, whatever. God, you're starting to annoy me now. I don't even know you. I can't even see you. I can't even hear me. And already you're starting to annoy me. I have a very low tolerance level. Oh, it's so low. Oh, yeah. You know that limbo thing where you have a pole that is horizontal and you try to get your body under the pole. Do millennials even know what I'm talking about? I went to New York City earlier this week. Yes, I did. I did the shows from New York City from my hotel room. I had a hotel room. I figure it's better than sitting on the street all night. So I had a hotel room. Kind of nice room. Hotel rooms in New York are very interesting. You really feel like you're just being shoved into a box. It's just a different feeling. I don't know. Do you live in the city? Raise your hand if you live in the city. There you go. Look at all of you. Yeah, you live in a box. You have an assigned box. It's like going down to the post office and renting one of those little postal box things because you get bulk mail, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You rent a post office little box thing. That's to me what like New York apartment living is. You rent a box. I'm serious, man. I was also blown away by the prices. As you know, if you live and breathe, prices of everything have been inflated. That's called inflation. It's very similar to what happens to your tires, although this is like not good. And it's all because of the pandemic. You know, I really thought when the pandemic began that we'd go through it, and then on the other side, everybody would be so eager to get out and do things that everything would be totally back to normal, and that would be the end of it. Well, it's coming to the end of it, but totally back to normal? Yeah. But back to normal economically? No. We're living in perfect storm days. Not only does something bad happen, but a lot of bad things happen at once, and it's called the perfect storm, which is a horrible phrase because it makes no sense whatsoever. Storms are not perfect. People are not perfect. Storms are not perfect. I guess storms are, people aren't. So not only were we coming out of the pandemic, and then that we couldn't, there was no manufacturing in most places like for a couple of years. So we started running out of stuff, and you'd figure, well, how is that possible? Why aren't the factories just like making stuff day and night? Well, then they were, but then they couldn't get the goods over here because there weren't enough truckers. I guess we're too busy, with the food trucks. And other countries weren't producing things because this country, we import everything we do. Some people even import their wives. They're called mail order brides. That's the ultimate import. Anyway, you couldn't get stuff from other places, so now the supply chain was low, and if they had something, they couldn't get it to you, and that was more expensive. And that was your perfect storm thing. Perfect storm is that people are idiots. That's the perfect storm. There's a problem, but then on top of that, people are idiots. That's your perfect storm. The people, idiots. Then they open places up. Everybody's going to restaurants. Everybody wants to buy something. Guess what? There's nothing to buy. I want to go to a restaurant. Guess what? We don't have any staff. We can't hire people. We can't find anybody who wants to work. I don't understand that. I cannot understand. I thought everybody would want to work. No, nobody wants to work. How are they living? We don't know. The unemployment rate is the lowest it's been in decades and decades and decades, going back to the 60s and 70s. And yet, you go into a restaurant, we can't find anybody to work here. Well, what? I got so frustrated. I called one of my credit card companies because I had a question about something that was going on my bill. And I was placed on hold for 20 minutes. And in the recording, as I was on hold, kept saying, "We apologize. We have more than expected phone calls." You always expect a lot of phone calls. And because of the pandemic, because of the corona, we are short-staffed. Oh, stop it. That doesn't happen. That's over. Hire people. If I'm going to pay higher prices for everything, I want service. When I call up a company, if I use my telephone, I want service immediately. And the reason I have to call companies is because if I go on your famous website, if I go, quote unquote, online, it has this thing, frequently asked questions, and it's never the questions that I'm asking. I don't ask frequently asked questions. If they were frequently asked, I'd probably know the answer. I'm calling you. I'm trying to contact you because I have a question that's not frequently asked. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Hire some people. So when I call your company, I can feel like you people are working. Like you're not in the back room having sex, sniffing paint, or playing with yourself. I apologize for that last part. I really do. I'm getting out of hand. By the way, if you have children, first of all, I'm so sorry. Secondly, get them out of the room. The show is going in the wrong direction. It's just for you. It's not for them. Kids, if you heard that, I'm only kidding. Parents, if you heard that, get them out of the room. I'll wait. Hurry up. I have things to do. Get them out. Are they out of the room yet? Good. Now lock the door. Yeah. Pack suitcases. Send them off to camp. Get them out of here. All right. That's what my parents did. They sent me off to camp for the whole summer. And if that can happen to me, that can happen to your kids. So just, you need a breather. I'm telling you. Anyway, the inefficiency in this country is just unbelievable. And I've been to other countries. They're even worse. Inefficiency. Total inefficiency. When I'm calling a company, why is somebody in India answering the phone? Did I dial the wrong number? Did I dial India by mistake? Can I help you? Yes. Where are you? I'm in New Delhi. New Delhi? I'm trying to call the deli down the street to order a ham sandwich. No, this is New Delhi in India. Oh, God. Do you have a frequently asked question? Oh, my God. I didn't call in. Is this on my phone? Is my phone bill going to make this? Is this a long-distance call? Why is somebody in India helping me here in New Jersey? By the way, I'm not in New Jersey. I just use New Jersey as basically a common everyday state that needs a lot of help. Everything's so inefficient. So anyway, I was in New York. Oh boy, getting back to this, huh? I was in New York, hotel rooms. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like I'm renting a prostitute. I mean, how much money do I have to spend to sleep in a bed and have a bathroom? Come on, man. This is ridiculous. So then I go out to lunch, and I figure I'll have my bigger meal for lunch because lunch is always cheaper than dinner. So I start walking the city streets, and I'm a streetwalker. I'm walking the streets of New York. Great time. Have a great time. The first thing I realized, because I'm from New York. I lived in New York for a long time, but I was younger at that time. I had more energy. I don't have the energy to walk the streets of New York anymore. Things have changed in my body because I'm trying to be hip. So I'm walking the streets of New York, and I'm stopping at these restaurants all over the place, and they have the menus posted on the door. And I'm looking at the prices, and oh my God, I'm going to have to second mortgage my home to have a sandwich. This is crazy. Lunch and sandwiches, $20. $20. Where are you getting your bread from? Oh, by the way, have you read? There's a wheat shortage. There's going to be a shortage of bread. Okay. All right, let me understand something. The one thing we make in this country throughout the entire Midwest is wheat. I didn't think there was any shortage of wheat ever. We're like the country of wheat. They could change the name, the United States of Wheat. Every Midwestern country, every Midwestern state has wheat. It's all they do. Grain and wheat. How can there be a bread short? Well, Ron, a lot of our wheat comes from overseas. Overseeding is what you do to your lawn and it doesn't grow properly. Overseas is something else. Ron, a lot of our wheat comes from overseas. Why? Why is it? We grow it here so well. What's with this? Maybe, I thought when I was younger, the older I got, the wiser I would become, the more I would know through, just through experience. Now I'm finding the older I get, the less I understand. Maybe because when I was younger, I didn't care to understand everything. And now that I'm older, I have nothing to do but care about things. It's a curse. So I tend not to understand anything anymore. I mean, I'm still with it. I'm very sharp. I would understand it if it made sense, but it doesn't. So I'm walking the streets in New York. I'm still walking. While I'm telling you this story, I'm still walking the streets, and I'm looking for something to eat. And, the food in New York, exquisite. Fantastic. It's fantastic. But it's just, I don't know. There's just too many people. There should be a big sign when you enter Manhattan, New York City. Manhattan is the island where all the stuff's happening. Should be a big sign that says capacity, 2 million people. It's like when you walk into a restaurant or into a room, it says capacity 365 people, and that's it. We can't let you in. That's fire rules, fire department rules of the city of New York. There should be a limit as to how many people can be there. Otherwise it gets too heavy and the island can sink into the ocean. But they don't have any capacity rules in that place. There's like 10 million people walking around. A little island of Manhattan. Oh, the island of Manhattan. There's too many people. I went down to see a Broadway show, which was enjoyable. It's never worth it. It was a Broadway show called The Play That Goes Wrong. Very, very funny. An amazing play, as a matter of fact. Check it out on your Google thing. The Play That Goes Wrong, or The Goes Wrong Play, something like that. Enjoyable. Across the street from that is Hamilton. And I never wanted to see Hamilton for two reasons. One is because I don't care for rap, really. I don't care for history, really. And Hamilton, didn't know him, have no real affinity to the guy. And the major reason I don't want to see Hamilton is because everybody else does, and I refuse to be like everybody else. I just refuse. So there's Hamilton there, and then there's next to that there's a theater that they're doing Macbeth. If you want to sit there and watch a Shakespearean play, they've got that. It's Macbeth. Starring in it is Daniel Craig, who is presently the James Bond. He's one of the highest paid film actors of all time. He gets something like $10 million, $100 million for doing a James Bond film or something. It's like, well, okay, maybe he can answer my frequently asked questions. So he's next door. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So I'm staying in the Times Square area, and it's just too many people. You literally cannot walk down the street. You have to maneuver and manipulate the sidewalk because there's too many people on it. It's amazing. If you don't watch where you're going, you are literally going to trip on a person. Not only that, but apparently many states in the country, this was like a school vacation week, so there were kids all over the place. And you know how I love kids. I mean, kids are just fine. But too many of them, that's a nightmare. One thing I could never do, and it's not that I dislike children at all. I was one at one point for a very short period of time. But when there's too many kids, I'm overwhelmed. I could never be a kindergarten teacher or a first grade teacher. They're way too young to understand what the hell's going on. And I just, at that age, they're not learning any. They learn things by osmosis. They don't listen to you talk or care or anything like that. If you were lying on the ground, a gaggle of kids would kick the crap out of you. They don't care. They're animalistic. They treat each other. They bully each other. They treat each other like crap, these little kids. They have no morals. They don't have jobs, so they don't know the value of money, which is insulting. I've talked about this before. Christmas, oh man, if you have kids, that's so insulting. It's so much fun to watch them open up presents. You spend hundreds of dollars on presents, and then they open up the presents, and they go into the kitchen, and they bang on a pot and a pan with a wooden spoon, and they're totally entertained with that. That's defeating. That's a defeating thing. Spend all this money on gifts, and they'd rather bang on a pot and pan in the kitchen. That's defeating. The other thing is the Santa Claus thing. You spend hundreds of dollars on your kids for presents, and then the kids say, "Oh, Santa gave this to me." No, schmuck. I bought it. I had to work overtime in order to afford this gift that you wanted, and you're not giving me credit for that? You're saying thank you to a fat man in a beard that doesn't exist? This is why I wanted the kids out of the room, by the way. How defeating is that? It's a defeating holiday is what it is. You sit back and you realize how much money you spent on gifts and how much they really don't appreciate them. Oh, they'll say they do, but they don't. Do you ever give somebody a gift, they open it up, and they go, "Oh, this is great, thank you," and then they put it down to the side next to them, and that's pretty much it. Yes, that's all that effort, all the money, that's pretty much it. Not a good holiday, kids. Not a good holiday. I'd rather get food from a food truck. You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? Oh, man, I don't know. So I had a good time in New York otherwise. Pretty much, yeah. But everything is like way too expensive. I don't know how people in New York City actually have enough money to live in New York City. It's amazingly expensive. As many parts of the country are. It's crazy, man. There's a tax on everything in New York. When I stayed in my hotel room, there was the price of the hotel room, which is hundreds and hundreds of dollars a night. Seriously? Hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a box that you rent out, and you've got like 500 boxes and you put people in it, and why is it that expensive? But it's not just that. There's also a per night room fee. What is that? It just is. Then there's tax on it. There's an occupancy tax. It's even hard to say. An occupancy tax. There's so much taxes on these hotel rooms, which are way too expensive to begin with, and you can't question that. What are all these taxes? Well, go to our website where there's frequently asked questions. I'm asking you. I'm sorry. I'm not a computer. I don't answer your questions. It's crazy. And they can charge anything they want. They're very interesting. Airlines do that too. If it's peak season, it's more expensive. Why? Why would it be more expensive if during peak season you're guaranteed to be sold out? You're going to fill every one of your hotel rooms guaranteed during peak season. That should be less expensive. You're guaranteed a gold mine for that peak week, that peak season. It should be more expensive when it's not peak season and you're not filling up your hotel rooms and you need to make money. No, Ron, when we need to make money, we lower the price. Well, then you won't get as much money. I don't understand. Hotel rooms very expensive. Here's something else about New York City restaurants. Not all of them, but most of them. I went to England decades ago, and what I was amazed at was that just about every restaurant was open for lunch from about 11:30 until 2:30 in the afternoon, and then they would close for 2 hours, and then they would reopen at 4:45 or 5 o'clock in the evening and go until maybe 11 o'clock at night. They closed for 2 hours for a siesta. And even if you're not Spanish or Mexican, they closed in the afternoon. So I'm walking the streets of New York and I feel like I want an alcoholic beverage. Or I want to eat something. Restaurants closed. We don't open till 5 o'clock. This is freaking New York City. It's the city that never sleeps. Well, we do sleep for 2 hours between lunch and dinner. What? What do you mean? Yeah, restaurants in New York don't open till 5 o'clock. They're closed mid-afternoon. I don't know why. It's not like, well, there's no customers coming in, so we'll close the doors. It's not like that. It's New York City. There's always customers. There's like 50 million people walking the streets. Don't complain about business if you close your doors for 2 hours in the afternoon. It's ridiculous. That's like Bed Bath & Beyond saying, we're open Monday through Friday from 10 o'clock in the morning until 1:30. Then we close for no reason whatsoever. And we open again at 5 o'clock for maybe an hour and a half. And I don't know why we're not doing any business. It's because your doors are closed, asshole. This is what I'm talking about. Nothing makes any sense anymore. It used to. When I was younger, things made sense. Now they don't. World is upside down. You ever hear that expression? They say that in Australia a lot. Why is it, by the way, that if you flush a toilet in Australia, the water swirls in the opposite direction of the way the water goes down a toilet in the United States? Why is it opposite down there? Well, Ron, get on your computer, go to frequently asked questions, because we get this question all the time here in Australia. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you actually notice that the swirl of the toilet water going down the toilet in Australia goes in the opposite direction, you have a lot of time on your hands. I don't think I'd even notice that. I tend not to look down into the toilet bowl to examine the the waves and the tides inside of a toilet bowl. I don't. I do the thing. I flush it. By the time I'm flushing, I'm already at the sink washing my hands or whatever that thing is called. Is it called washing hands? Is that what it's called? Fine, whatever. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a guest today because I kind of spent all this time talking. I apologize for that. Next weekday that rolls around, I'll be doing a brand new show. This is very exciting for you. Me, not so much. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Take care of yourself, please. If you remain healthy, I like healthy listeners. Well, I don't mind. Actually, if you're sick, then you're stuck at home or in your apartment, then you have to listen because there's nothing else to do. So you can get sick if you want. Until next time, I wish you peace. Go away. We're done. We are done. Did you enjoy today's show?
It was unbelievably painful.